We're going to be talking about group practices today and the difference between being an independent contractor and an employee. So one thing to say before we really get started on this topic is you always want to check the laws of your particular state. This is so state dependent in the United States. In some states like California, New York, independent contractors are not allowed. You have to be employees, and there's even rules around who can employ certain people and how that looks. So you always want to talk to an employment lawyer if you have any questions about independent contractors versus employees and what can happen in your particular state. The biggest difference between an independent contractor and an employee is one, who has control over certain things, and two, who pays taxes. When you're an employee, your employer or the group practice probably is going to have more control over the hours that you work, maybe the kinds of clients that you see, scheduling, when you have to do your notes, even though if you're private pay versus insurance usually dictates that. But the group practice is really going to be the one that is giving you more guidelines. When you're an independent contractor, you should have a little bit more autonomy, especially if you're private pay. Now, you still have to follow all the ethics, all the, your state rules. If you do accept insurance, you have to accept all of those and, all the guidelines from insurance. Then the other thing is who pays your taxes. When you are an employee, your employer pays a portion of your taxes. When you're an independent contractor, you're responsible for all of your taxes. And usually when you're an independent contractor, you get more of your money given to you that you have brought in. So let's say you have a client and usually for independent contractors, it's anywhere between 60 and 70%, could be 50% depending on what they're offering. I've seen some private pay practices at 50% because of the amount of marketing that goes into private pay, maybe some specialty items that are needed for private pay, maybe a nicer office, or just different things that might go. So I've seen a range from 50 to 70% for independent contractors, more in the range of 60 to 70%. And then for employees, I've seen 40 to 60%. I have not seen as high as 70% for an employee, just because taxes are 7.25%. And so if you're looking at your different admin expenses, office expenses, electronic health records expenses, credit card expenses, that adds up very quickly. So if you are going to be an employee somewhere and they're offering you a split, it's usually between 40 and 60%. And then an independent contractor, anywhere from 50 to 70%. And that also depends on what you get. When you're an employee, you tend to get more. If you're a virtual only employee, usually they'll give you a laptop or a stipend for your laptop. They will possibly cover the cost of some of your CEUs, of vacations. It could be a 401k matching. There's a lot of different benefits that you can get when you're an employee. And it depends again on the size of your group practice. If you do join a small group practice, they may not be able to offer the same benefits maybe as a large group practice, or maybe the group practice has different values. I've seen some group practice owners offer a lot of vacation time, but it's unpaid. Or I've seen some group practice owners offer 2 weeks of vacation time paid. And so it really depends on what the vibe of the practice is and what kind of benefits that they offer. As an independent contractor, you're not provided with any direct benefits. You're not paid for vacation. You're not paid for supplies that you use. You're not paid for your phone, computer, these kinds of things. And so you're really you're independent. You just working within a system. I always think of like an Uber Eats kind of situation where Uber Eats is not making the food. This restaurant is making the food, but Uber Eats is facilitating the process. They're taking payment, they're paying out to the restaurant. And so it's kind of similar to that. It's not exactly the same, but that's one way that you can look at it. You're providing the therapy, the group practice is providing, certain things, but they're probably not paying for your psychology today. If you're an independent contractor, they're not paying for your liability insurance. So these are just things to consider. I'll tell you how you can decide which one you'd like to be, but first I'd like to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you're looking for an electronic health record that's really full service, one that can help you run your solo or group practice, your virtual or in-person practice, I want you to check out TherapyNotes. They have a free telehealth option. You can bill insurance, you can bill credit cards. The credit card processing is really competitive. You can write your notes, send paperwork through the portal. And what makes TherapyNotes really stand out is their customer service. They are readily available to you to help troubleshoot or just answer your questions. So I highly recommend TherapyNotes. So you might want to be asking yourself, should I be an employee or an independent contractor? It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a little bit more autonomy and you can manage your money and you're going to put away money for taxes and you want to, be a part of a group practice, but not as an employee, independent contractors, great. I have independent contractors at my practice and they do really well. They set aside money for taxes. We've encouraged them to meet with accountants. We've talked about healthcare, other ways to really make sure that they're, getting something satisfactory from the relationship. And it works. For other people, they want to be an employee. They want to know that taxes are being taken out. They don't want a tax bill at the end of the year or every quarter. Maybe you want vacation time. You want some different level of stability. Then being an employee of a group practice is also great. So I think it really depends on what the practice is offering you and what you need in your life. Well, I'm here answering your questions. I'll see you soon, everybody. Bye.